Item number SCP-1958. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. As of an undisclosed date in the 2000s, SCP-1958 has been placed in a stable orbit of the Sun at a distance of 1.blank AU and is not currently visible from Earth by the naked eye. The Foundation is to monitor professional and amateur astronomical publications for any indication that SCP-1958 has been sighted and is to suppress any publication for information regarding its composition or trajectory. On an undisclosed date in 2000s, a three-man survey team deployed from Foundation Lunar Facility 2A was successful in reaching and entering SCP-1958, inventorying its contents, installing equipment to facilitate further monitoring, and retrieving components and artifacts deemed noteworthy. All artifacts recovered from SCP-1958 are to be archived at Reliquary 32 for further examination. SCP-1958 is to be returned to Earth if and when suitable method for its acquisition and transit is devised. Description: SCP-1958 is a 1950s Volkswagen Type 2 Samba bus, often referred to as a Merkle bus. Currently located approximately 1.blank AU, blank million kilometers, from the Earth's Sun, and in a region in interplanetary space near the orbit of Mars. At all times since the Foundation began monitoring in 2000s, SCP-1958 has been moving away from the Sun at a custom velocity of approximately 130 km per hour. Assumed from the severed coolant line on the undercarriage and a small dent on the rear fender, SCP-1958 does not appear to have received any significant damage. The phrase Starmobile and Alpha Centauri or Bust have been spray painted in English on the side panels of SCP-1958. Analysis indicate that 1958's trajectory prior to Foundation contact would have placed it in the vicinity of the star Alpha Centauri A in approximately 37.2 million years. 1958 has undergone several aftermarket mechanical modifications. The interior cabin and engine compartment have been airtight, with a small section near the rear doors being converted into airlock. The original glass windows have been replaced with shatterproof acrylic, and the exterior surfaces have been treated with an unknown chemical additive, rendering them nearly impervious to penetration by space debris. The gas tank has been replaced with a fuel cell that appears to be based in the advanced series of Redacted, not developed until several decades after the date at which 1958 is presumed to have left Earth. No modifications have been made to driver's controls to the dashboard display during exploration. The survey team noted that the steering wheel, gas brake pedals, and gear shift function to alter SCP-1958 speed and direction in a manner commensurate to vehicles being driven on the Earth's surface. The following artifacts were discovered within SCP-1958's cabin upon exploration: a skeletal remains of an adult human male, approximately 21 years of age, identified as William Blank, who was reported missing in the summer of 1950s while attending classes at the University of California, San Francisco. Skeletal remains of one adult female domestic cat, Velociraptor catus. Forensic analysis indicates the cat was pregnant at the time of death. 4 bedrolls and pillows. A supply of clothing in styles typical of late 1950s American youth culture for several adults and mixed gender. A partially exhausted supply of dehydrated food, remaining stores sufficient to feed 4 adults in approximately 3 months. A chemical toilet and water filtration equipment intended to recycle drinking water from urine, feces, and sweat. An atmospheric scrubbing system sufficient for removing exhaled carbon dioxide from the cabin and introducing oxygen produced as a waste product of the engine. A seed bank contains seeds of several thousand domestic plants and freeze-dried fertilized ova of several dozen livestock and domesticated animals. A water pipe containing cannabis residue. One syringe and an empty vial. Chemical analysis indicate the vial and syringe have been used in storage and injection of heroin. Blueprints and technical diagrams showing that the modifications made to SCP-1958's engine, one acoustic guitar, a pair of bongo drums, a set of printed and handwritten star charts, and the following books: Howl and Other Poems, Allen Ginsberg; On the Road, Jack Thorrock; Collected Poems, 1934 to 1952, Dylan Thomas; Untitled Songbooks containing lyrics and guitar tablature of the songs of Woody Guthrie, Pete Singer, and Hank Williams, in addition to several original compositions. The Voyage of Space Beagle, A.E. Van Gogh. Jack Proton, Space Cop, M.K. Snyder. Worlds in Collision, Emmanuel Volonsky. Dynestics, L. Ron Hubbard. Space Brothers, A Guide to Our Galactic Next-Door Neighbors, Liver Abraxas, Honey Chile Jackson, and a handwritten diary identified as belonging to William Blank. The means of which SCP-1958 initially left Earth's surface is unknown. An examination of police reports and newspaper archives indicates that several bright lights and sonic booms were reported by residents of San Francisco on the evening of July 4th, 1950s. During the Independence Day fireworks displays that could not make and accounted for the pyrotechnics, Blank's former residence was demolished to make way for new construction in 1975. Surviving friends and relatives had described Blank as a beatnik who was active in countercultural circles and left-wing political causes, and who dabbed briefly with several new religious movements, including transcendental meditation, the teachings of India mystic Meher Baba, and the Fifth Church of San Francisco. Excerpts from the Diary of William Blank. February 3rd. Bought the bus today. We hocked pretty much everything we own between the four of us to make down payment. Jerry says it's perfect, plenty of space inside for all of us, and plenty of room under the hood for the shit he's gonna need to pack in there. He says it'll be ready for a couple months, but Susan wants to graduate before we go, so I'll probably wait until summer. Plenty of time, we've got everything else we need. Feels like it was only yesterday those Fifth squares kicked us out from our heresy. They laughed when I told them Jackson was wrong, that the Eggers were wrong, and Rand was wrong. There's magic up there, alright? But I'm not gonna sit here and working 9 to 5, wait for it to come with us. We want to do it. Heaven's up there, man. Just waiting for its angels. July 4th, 1950s. Blast off. First men in space. Take that, Khrushchev. Here it is, Independence Day, and it's the first time in history since man started setting up its rules and its laws and its banks, and for these 4 people in this universe who are really free. It's so beautiful up here. The Earth is getting smaller and smaller in a rearview mirror. I swear, it feels like we're barely moving at all. But Jerry says we're pulling 82 on its thing. Ain't no pigs up here gonna pull us over. He says we ought to be 3 weeks before tops before we make it to Alpha Centauri. We lit a couple up and said goodbye to Mother Earth for one last time. July 7th, 2005. 1950. Would you believe we still get an AM on a Motorola? Our space is rocking, man. July 9th. We ran out of beer today. Sandcraft went open with breakfast, and we noticed there were only 7 left. 4 Olympia, 2 Rainier, 1 Coolers. I got them open with lunch and even let Susan's cat Milky drink some. She looks like she's gained some weight since we took off. Everyone's kind of bummed about the beer situation, but it's all good. As soon as we land, we'll get some barley going, and next year we'll get through one on our own. July 16th. Jerry's dead. Something bumped into us during our sing-along. Jerry said it was probably just some space dust, but he wanted to go outside and check it out. He put on the spacesuit Susan made for him and climbed outside. He was on his way back when something else bumped into us and he lost his grip. Susan and Sam were screaming as he just drifted away. I tried to turn around. What shit. Man, I never learned how to drive these things, handled like boats, even when they did not have a road underneath them. By the time we got to him, he was dead. Susan wouldn't stop bawling. They were going to get married as soon as we landed. Got my license and all. I was going to do the deed myself. When we had to give her some pills to let her sleep after I got us back on course. Just got a feeling we're halfway there now. The sooner we can get out of this crumpled little bus, the better. July 19th. Susan was dead when we woke up this morning. The needle was still in her arm. I don't know how she got that much junk in her on her with her. She never touched that shit before in her life. I played Amazing Grace on the guitar and I said a little something else Sam put her out their luck. Maybe she'll find Jerry up there. August 23rd. Something's wrong, man. We could have made it up by now. But I haven't seen Alpha Centauri in the window. And where we're going the wrong way? Did we go too far? I can't make sense of these star charts. Jerry was the expert at all this shit. I'm just a philosophy major. Sam and I were getting sick too. We're getting weaker. And we've got these blotches all over our bodies. Sammy's having trouble eating and lost a tooth yesterday. I haven't seen all of our bodies in the cat in days, but I can smell something really bad. I think he must have crawled behind something and died. Hope we can make it soon. September 18th. I can see the moon outside of the window. Something's wrong, man. All this time out, here we are, we're not even past the moon. Jim must have fucked up with the math. Never get there in time. I don't think we can get back home anymore. I'll close the curtains once they saw it. Can't let Sam know. Not holding his food down anymore. I'm not much better myself. September 23rd. Hold on now. Sam died this morning. He barely stood up or see towards the end. He asked me if we're there yet. I told him, yeah, man. We'll be there tomorrow. Just get your rest. I didn't have the heart to tell him the truth. Asked me to read him, a death shall have no dominion. One last time. His eyes were closed at the time I finished. Then I opened up again. Pushed him out the airlock. After he was gone, there's not going to be no one left to push me out. November 3rd. It's so fucking beautiful out here, man.